Very good morning, all of you. Welcome to the module 4, that is metal forming process. So far we discussed about the metal cutting process. That is one type of the manufacturing science. Okay, the manufacturing of finished parts and components from raw materials is one of the most important steps in production. Okay, if you say any product, a day-to-day life you using, you can say toothbrush, pen. For that, a different processes are done to make it end product. Okay, that is nothing but manufacturing science. By using raw material or to make it a final products. See, raw material is most important here. Depending on the material, to choose the products. If you come to the material, already you are studying the material science subject. In that have the different materials, properties, physical properties, chemical properties, okay, crystalline structures of the material. How to study in material science all details of the types of the materials. So once you choose the material, our main aim is to make it a final product by using different manufacturing processes. Okay, in that one we studied, that is a metal cutting, or it is also called as the machining process, where a material, the extra material is removed from the workpiece to make its final components. For that we use different machines, that is a lathe machine, we can say drilling machine, milling machine, grinding machines. Okay, the grinding machines are used for the surface finishing. So depending on the requirement of the operation, you have to select the machines. Clear? Now today we discussed about the related to the metal forming process. See, in module 4 we have the sub concepts, that is first we have to discuss about the introduction to metal forming processes. After that we see a classification of metal forming process. Then we have the hot working and cold working metals. So after that we have the different techniques of the metal forming process. Okay, these are the most important. We see one by one, that is forging, rolling, and drawing and extrusion. Okay, before I will start these concepts, first we see what is meant by metal forming process and the classification of metal forming process. Okay, as I told, manufacturing science is nothing but you take any raw material, you make it into the final products by using different manufacturing processes. So what are the different manufacturing process? That is metal cutting or machining is one type. Already we studied this concept. Second one we have the metal forming process. Today we discuss about the metal forming processes. Third one we have the casting process. Metal casting process we studied in the 4th semester. Okay, and the next one is the metal joining process. The metal joining process is nothing but welding, joining the two components. Okay, this concept also we studied in the next semester. Okay, so as a engineer, manufacturing engineer, you should know all these concepts clearly, how to use these processes. Once you enter in the manufacturing sector, definitely you want this all concept clear. Okay, so the manufacturing refers to the conversion of raw materials into finished product with suitable techniques. See, there are several methods of manufacturing such as metal casting, metal forming, metal machining, metal joining, etc. In order to fulfill the requirements of the demands, so the demand will be increase or decrease in the market. The various types of industries, the manufacturing engineer has to choose the right type of material and the right type of equipment for manufacture, so that the cost of production and the energy consumption are minimum. This is most important. Have to collect the demands from the customers Okay, if the demand rate is high, then only you have to start the manufacturing process. For that, which material is required? Choose the right type of the material. For that material, choose the right type of the equipment or machine for manufacturing. Okay, if you select all correct, then only the cost of the production will be minimum. Understood? This is most important in the industry. So what happens nowadays? Computers and robots play important role in modern manufacturing techniques. You have the CNC machines, VMC machines. Some robots are there to operate the big machines. Okay, today modeling and simulation of the process or mass production helps the manufacturing engineer fix up the best operating parameters. Okay, hence achieve the finished product to the utmost level of quality and minimum cost. Okay, just understand what is meaning by this all concepts. Manufacturing sector, we have the different robots or different computerized machines are using. If you visit any machining industry, in that we have the VMC machines, okay, CNC lathe machines, CNC milling machines are there. Okay, for mass production they use all these types of the machines. Okay, if we come to the metal forming, this is one type of the manufacturing science. See here what happens, you cannot remove the material from the workpiece or product. See, we just go through my words what I am discussing here. In machining, you have to remove the material from the workpiece to make the object. But in metal forming, the forming of the metal, forming of the objects without removing the extra material, without removing the material from the workpiece to make the desired component, to make the desired products. Now how it is happen? Without removing the material, you have to give the desired product. So just apply the force on the that workpiece. It may be compressive or tensile. Okay, with the help of a hammer or any objects to make it object a required size. For example, goldsmith, what they did, they will heat the object at certain temperature, then with the help of hammer they will add the pressure on that object to make it a desired shape. So without removing any extra material from the object, you making the products here. Okay, the metal forming is a very important manufacturing operation. It enjoys industries important among various production operations due to its advantages, that is the cost effectiveness, and there will no any changes in the mechanical properties. So it is most important manufacturing concept in the industry. It is flexible operation for higher productivity, considerably material saving. Okay, in that material only we give the shape to the that object. Okay, so we call as it is superior mechanical properties to attain the superior mechanical properties compared to metal cutting operations. See, metal cutting operation there will be some changes in the mechanical properties due to removing of the material, but here without any touching the properties of the mechanical, it definitely we get the final product of the object. The next slide is saying what is meant by a metal forming, just discussed. The large group of manufacturing processes in which plastic deformation is used to change the shape of the metal workpieces. Sorry. So what is meant by plastic deformation here? Anybody? The manufacturing process is done with the help of plastic deformation to change the shape of metal workpieces. So plastic deformation means, see, deformation means change in the dimensions. It having elastic deformation and plastic deformation. So once you apply the force, external force on the object, okay, there will be changes occurs in the that object. Okay, it is final object we get. It is not possible regain its original shape, that we call as the plastically deformed. The material is cannot be possible to recome its original shape, that we call as the plastic deformation. If it come its original shape again, that we call as the elastic deformation. Okay, this is most important concept in the metal forming process. Products are formed plastically deformed. Understood? The tool usually called here die. In metal cutting, with different cutting tools are used with respect to its machines and operations. But here we use the dies, a different shape of the dies that are formed with the help of metal. By using dies, forces apply on the object, that we call as the stress that exceed the yield strength of the metal. Okay, the metal takes a shape determined by the geometry of the die. Now see, what is meant by a metal forming? The metal forming is the metal working process of fashioning metal parts and objects through a mechanical deformation. The workpiece is reshaped without adding or removing material and its mass remains unchanged. Just I told, without removing any material from the object, giving the desired shape. How it is? With the help of some external forces applied on the object. With the help of plastic deformation, a material will be due to the shape, the required size and dimensions. All of you understood what is meant by metal forming concept? Is there any doubt? Objects are formed plastic deformity with the help of adding some external force on that object without any removing the material from that object. Understood the meaning of forming or metal forming? Forming operates on the material science. So just I told, this is most important concept here, material science, the subject you studied in this semester only. So depending on the type of the material, have to collect the different operations here. The principle of plastic deformation, where the physical shape of a material is permanently deformed. All of you understood the plastic deformation meaning? Okay, where the physical shape of a material is permanently deformed. So once you apply the force or pressure from externally on that object will take some shape. Okay, it is not possible to regain its shape to the original, that we called as the plastic deformation. Okay, is there any doubt in the understanding of the metal forming definition? Okay, next we move to the what are the classification of metal forming processes? Okay, this is most important concept. The metal forming process can be classified in two different ways. Okay, that is based on the nature of force applied and based on working temperature. Okay, this working temperature plays most important role here. Okay, this concept, this type we see later. First, we go through the based on the nature of forces applied. We have the different types of the forces are available. Depending on that, we have the different types of the metal forming process. In that we have the direct compression type process. Okay, here we use the compression force directly to the object to give the shape and size to the object. Second, we have the indirect compression type. We are adding the compression force, but it is indirectly. Okay, example we see in the next slide. Also, we have the tension type process. Okay, both sides we are adding the tension force, tensile force. Also, we have the bending type processes. Bending force is applied to the object to give the desired shape. Also, we have the shearing type processes. A shearing force applied to the object. So, depending on the type of the force applied to the object, we have the different types of the metal forming process. Okay, in that we have the first one, a direct compression type process. If we see a direct compression type process, okay, see here example, forging. So the force F is applied on the upper die, from upper die to the object. In middle we have the workpiece here. It is heated workpiece. Okay, the direct compression force applied on the object, that we call as the direct compression type process. This is nothing but forging. The details or the type of the forging we see in the later classes. The workpiece is compressed between two opposing dies so that the die shape are imparted to the workpiece. The shape of the die will be imparted to the workpiece. So this one type of the direct compression type process. Understood the meaning of direct compression type process? Compression force, that is directly applied to the workpiece. Okay, if you see the indirect compression, see also the rolling here, a rolling metal forming process. This also we see in the later classes. Here we use the rollers. In between rotating rollers, you have to pass the hot metal. Okay, here you have the heated material. Just have to pass in between the two rollers. After that output, we get the desired shape of the object. It is rolled metal. Here also we are applying the compression force only. Okay, this is rolling process. Next we have the indirect compression type process. If you see the extrusion and wire drawing. So what happens in extrusion? A cylindrical a container is there. In that we have the hot material that we called as the billet. Okay, this hot material is compressed indirectly with the help of a ram. And here output we have the dies. The shape of the die will give the object to a shape of the that requirement. If you want a cylindrical, a circular shaft, you have to make it a circular die here. Here we get the a cylindrical, a circular shaft. After compressing this billet. Billet is nothing but here hot material, raw material it is. Okay, once it compressed, we will get the desired shape of the object.